Ladies and gentlemen, it is not easy to bring such people to this kind of programs, but because he's a father and he wants to see a generation of youth that will continue the good work, he is here to share with us, to pour out his heart to us. I want you to pay good attention. I want you to consume the content. I want you to let it bless your life. I want you to pick something. In fact, he is one of the youth icons we noted down long ago. Looking forward to a day like this. And there are many other days that are to come that will have moments with people like this that will inspire us. With a clap offering and a noise if you don't have tea in your mouth. Let's welcome Mr. Samuel Sachidolu.
Hello. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
But Daddy, please, you can sit and just feel free and share with us. Stand there.
Seeing them eyeball to eyeball.
That's right.
Some of us have been here for several years. When we were today, like through national service, through the university, through national service, and they are working. So some of us were here before some of you were actually born. And today we are here with you. Okay, on the day of independence, the president at that time was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And the speech, if you listen to the speech he made, President Ghana is free forever, the bank is so. He made one sentence that people have taken this off. He said, there's nothing you can do without the help of God. You need God to make a difference to your life. You can only be successful with God. Listen, it's in the sentence. By the time they talk about the independence, the battle has ended, nobody mentions that part of it. You see. But without God, you cannot be successful. There's a man called the Singaporean, Lee Kuan Yew. The man who made Singapore. Yes. Singapore is mainly a Buddhist country. But when this man came to power, Singapore was like Ghana. Singapore, Malaysia, Ghana, Korea, they got independence around the same 1957. But the man took on his country and decided to turn his country around. They all talk about the economic miracle. The man's economist, he was so good, he was this, but he was a dictator. That country, if you spit, they will whip you. If you chewing on the ground, they will whip you. A friend told me the father made a mistake. He threw some chewing around the train station. They were going for a conference. The conference like maybe a cat tamale. When he reached Tamale, the police arrested him and took him back. Go and take the chewing gum, carry him, threw away. By the time he returned, the conference was over. That's the punishment he went through. Lee Kuan Yew, there's something that about him that people don't mention. The man kept a prayer warrior team in the national sports team. What were they doing for him? Just praying. Whilst he was turning the country around, they were praying. It shows the power of prayer. It's not an idiot. That one, the international community hardly mentioned it. But I knew that's a fact. That the man kept a Christian prayer force praying for him. And that's a country which is about 80% Buddhist. Why was he doing that? He knew the power of God. Please, you need to pray to make an impact in the world. You are young. Some of us went through it. We're lucky we met young people who took us through. I keep on saying that I always thank Dr. and Mrs. Bushnell, to American missionary who took us as children. Those days there was a topic called black and white. You will call us when you the amount of this is how you chew. Maybe Roman 10, 11, then you mention this, yes, say me, then you get up, hey, they go and take one of it. They were encouraging us, they were putting some spirit, they were planting seeds in us at that tender age. So when we went through secondary school, I keep on telling people that I went through boys' school all my life, right from JSS, that time it was middle school, nice JSS through secondary school. That secondary school was 7 years, not 3 years like yours. Boys' school all my life. But I was scared of something because of the seed in me that they planted in me. It kept me away from doing a lot of bad things. I was really scared of getting involved with so many things. Oh, when they were playing once and were shy. I was just me and my God. Even on my birthdays, I would buy biscuits and I share among people. I myself fought and pray. That was some of the things I was doing. I was just close to God. That God, I was only looking at the future. I was thinking of myself where I was. I was born into a rich family. As I came, my father was those days, like US manager, CFO manager. They had big shop. Provisions were not sold around like this. They were in the big shops. My father was managing what? Yes. The one after him was also a US manager. The third one had the supermarket. So I was born to a business family. Along the line, my father ran into trouble. And the money went away. I don't know how it went. My father even went to Ezra. I don't know what he went to do. He went to Ezra for some time. We had to struggle through life, through secondary school, through. I think you have to go to take me to school. So sometimes when people come to me and I help them, I remember what I went through. I remember one day one boy came, he was collected. He had father, this was good to go to the school. It was a Sunday. He was good. And the last day, every time they letter that he doesn't pay his deposit by Tuesday, those people, come on, this is somebody who has passed to such a good school. He's going to miss it. No. I had the school was 8 and 50. I gave all the money to him. That was a good school. I called the parent, the mother. I feel like the mother was nobody. He couldn't make it. And Joe, the mother was going to get the money. The mother said, hey, when you go and see this person, big man, no. If you hadn't seen me, you have lost the chance. Please let him come. I'll put it one. Every time, let him come. Once I've been through it before, you understand? So I appreciate what people go through. I went through the mill. I was here. I remember one day they said 4 people who want to stand, that they want to be rich, so that one day they will do God's work. I remember myself, Mr. Fu, I'm going to tell you, who is here? One Nigerian pastor. I don't know the rich, but great. And God took care of me through life. But there's something I want you to know, creativity. Think ahead of time. Think, please think. Don't do, I don't know how to put it there. The same thing over and over. Just don't go to which like everybody does this, therefore this. Do something different. Now, when I was in national service, I remember very well, we were lucky. They took us to some World Bank project, on a World Bank project. And all the contractors, they were coming, we work hard distance for them, and then we sent to a ministry, they would sign a good to finance, they paid them, all that. Then one day, this Alaji came. We went through his bill of lading, everything through it. I was doing that service. Went through everything, I realized that when we were writing, we checked into that government booth, and his name was not even in the budget. It's like even though the people, they took the budget to finance, the finance cut off that one, they didn't know, and they gave the project to the man. And the man has spent so much, like 280,000, those 2.8 billion into the project. And now he can't be paid, and that was a match. He can't be paid because his name is not even in the national budget, which means that he had to wait until another 1 year. This Anaji was confused, disturbed. In fact, I look at the man's face, I could see that the man was standing there, but his mind was far away from me. So I went to my boss, as I said, I learned the rating budget in school. So as I said, can we write something to the minister that they should pay this man for what he has done? Then freeze the project and wait next year to re-award it before put it in the national budget before they can pay the man. He was saying, hey, what is going to happen? I should write to the minister, hey, Minister of Finance, has something go and sit somewhere. As I said, we can try. I mean, try. So we are just writing. If the man doesn't agree, what's the big deal? So you go and draft and come. And there was something. So I drew something. With my little budget, I have the environment. Like you can move money from one sector to another sector. You know, women have sectors of money. Like salaries is one sector. Other administrative things like buying chairs, buying furniture, buying cars, buying all this. Then the first I had contact. The third one is capital expense. That's buildings and cars and those things. You see, women have sectors. I said they should buy into one sector so that they can pay this money. But the man's money was not in that quantum at all. The quantum money in places like big buildings and this, his name is not even there. And they should buy money from somewhere and put it there so they pay the money. I wrote the letter and then my boss signed. My boss unwillingly signed the thing and the thing was taken to finance. One day I was working and I was just going to buy some lunch. Hey, was it lunch? Some of this I shouldn't say lunch. Say those who go to go into the If you're going to buy a lot of things, you go to PhD, never is not that. Then my boss was calling me. He said, hey, something, letter has come. The minister has agreed. What? The minister has agreed. He called the man, she made the certificate. The man's certificate was lost. Hey, you feared him. I went to registry to go and for copy. I had to move. I said, go search. I got one. Photocopy, bought it, attach it, then pass it through, and the man was paid. That time now, they were paying less. Today they pay at 5 statements. That time they were paying, is it 56 or 560 pesos? I'm not too sure. It's like what they are paying now, but it was either 10% or 1% at that time. After the man was paid, I finished. Normally, when I do any work, I do it and forget about it. I don't. Some people, if it, I have not asked anybody for anything for doing anything for me. I don't believe it. If you thank me, fine, thank God, but I will never ask you. I was there when the man came. The man bought a fat envelope. Kindly, that was 100 like, so it's like today's 10,000 cedis. 10,000 cedis for a next service boy. Can you believe it? Me. At that time. Wow. And that made my life. 10 so many things around. The money was huge. It was big. It was far bigger than myself at that time. If somebody being paid me 5 or 50 cedis, they pay you 10,000. Just like that. And for a week, 4 continuous days, every day this one was coming from us to come and say thank you. That time I thought the man was a bit crazy. But today I understood him. In fact, that man could have died. But he was owing the bank, he was owing credit, he was owing supplies, he was owing his workers. How was he going to pay until January, for March? So what I did for him was that I saved him. Just a little thing, that said, what about writing to the finance minister that this, let him pay this man what he has done, because his money, his name is not anywhere, and it's not part of national, so you will be paid because whose money was going to use to pay him? No. But the minister agreed to get some charge of budget, pay this man, so he waits, so the project is stopped until the next year. When it's awarded completely, then you can take off and do it. That appealed to the minister. The minister too agreed, and the man got the money. And the man was so happy that me, small boy, gave that money to me. I didn't have a girlfriend. So nobody was going to force me to take the money. I have to invest it sensibly, buy this, etc. What am I talking about? I'm not talking about going to look for somewhere for someone to come give money. No. What I'm telling is that think, create, do something differently from everybody. Think, create. Who invented the LOP? Who knew who invented the LOP? Come on, this one, somebody must answer. If you don't remember the kind of power, you must answer. Who knows who invented the LOP? The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright. Those boys were not in school, they were not working, they were sacked from school. They were in the house, they were playing about, playing with machines, jumping about, trying to see if they can jump into the air, play around. Today you have aeroplanes. Those are the boys who invented the aeroplane. Wilbur and Orville Wright. They call them the Wright brothers, 100 years ago. Today you can fly, you can jump from here to America, to Australia, to wherever and come back because of those two boys. They were not in school. They used their mind in creating something that was not there. Today they have made a difference. Mark Zuckerberg, is that the name? Is that the pronunciation? Okay. Facebook. I learned when he started the thing, who did it. He wasn't in the class, he was not in any office. When he started, he really went to the event, he brushed it off. He went to the second person, he took it up. And today, look at Facebook, the two of them are now billionaires. Ideas, when someone bring ideas, put your head together, think around it, you don't know. You can create something out of nothing. You are trained, that's what I'm telling you this. There's a lot of potential in you. What is your inclination? Let me ask you. What do you dream about? What do you see in your dreams? What do you see? When somebody walking about, playing around with children, carrying gun, before I realize the boy has come to Japan, he has ready to a general, because the inclination is to be a soldier. And because that's the inclination, he will rise up to the top. You see that thing? You see somebody organizing children, teaching them, before I realize he has become a teacher. It is in her. It's in her. You see that thing? And that's, so please look at your inclination. What is something that you think about a lot? What's something that comes into you? What do you dream about? Where is your dream? There's something in you. There's a potential in every single person. Think around it. Create it. Come out with something. It makes a difference. I'll tell them. The guy says, I want to address 100 nights. I said some of you, maybe Kotopo is there, or Black Star is there. Some companies are there, they have money. They don't know how to advertise. You can create some advert something for them. Between them, you take your small no few, and then you have done something for Ghana. You see, before like the company is sponsoring Black Star, and Black Star has the kits and whatever, and they are happy because you see, when the COVID came, you see when the guy park, now nobody is there, but someone will create something, adverts. He has got a lot of company to advertise all over the stadium, and that is money. So they are not losing by playing. They have companies adverts all over the stadium, everywhere. Somebody has thought through it that if anybody doesn't come cry, the companies can pay for the money. How much is the ticket? So let some companies pay. The company will pay in millions. You put 20-30 companies together, and they receive more than the stadium fees. And they say how they want to run the business, the sport. That's what you are watching. Chelsea, Liverpool, what. You are watching them. Seeing it. Why? Because some people have organized. There's something in you that can bring us something that nobody's been thinking of. Create it. See the fun. But one thing too, I want you to excel wherever you find yourself. Sometimes we look down upon some jobs. This is me. There was a lady here in this church. She and the husband got married, and they paid up and they created this cleaning solution. There's a company about cleaning. They clean this Linda door. See, when everybody bars come, clean, people go and people go. I mean, see that, and they pay a lot of money. They just had to create it, and that made it different. Look at Zoom Lion. It came from nowhere. Nobody likes baller. I say, me, I like baller. I organize people. I'll pay you. Let's clean the street. Let's clean it. Let's clean it. Now look at Zion. This is one of the biggest companies in Ghana today. Yes. Baller. You're not thinking of, somebody thinking of. Everything around you matters. Please think. Create something. There's nothing that's beyond you. Think as you grow up. Think. Create. What is you? Go and pray to God. What should I come up with? And think about it. And there's something that you can do that nobody else can. You can rise up. I went for a course in the UK, strategic leadership. Before I went to the TAS Academy, I went for a course and came back. Strategic leadership. In fact, there are two things that I learned from there. Everything that was taught to me, two things that I learned from there. There's nothing like impossible. To a white man, there's nothing like impossible. The second thing they taught that was, don't give excuses, find solutions. Now let me give you examples. About 60 years ago, there's a president in America called John F. Kennedy. When he came to power in January 1961, I'm sure none of us here was born. The man said, America, you claim you are great. At that time, America and Russia were struggling for leadership. Who is supremacy? Who is the biggest? Who is the superpower? He said, if you are really powerful, then I want you, the scientists, I'm challenging you. Within 10 years, you should be able to fly all the way to the moon. If you're Ghana here, you will be angry with the president. But if you can't say between 12 or so, you have insulted who understood it. But Americans understood it. The scientists took up the challenge. They started trying to organize machines, trying to fix machines, trying to do some simulation and this. In 1969, less than 10 years, they were able to land on the moon. In July 1969, Americans were able to land on the moon. How many remember the names? Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, and there's a third one. They took a machine from here and landed in. The first man to step on the moon was called Neil Armstrong. Keep it, maybe somebody mentioned that you heard too. The second one, Edwin Aldrin, he actually came to Ghana here. And he said, over there, he felt God. He was the person who claimed he was still a Christian. Because the rest, I'm sure they were just excited about science. But Edwin came here and said, even there, I felt God. And I knew God was good. That's why he has made me. And the man came here to talk about what he came for fellow business women, men's fellowship or something. Full gospel. Good. At the man, he came to Ghana. And America, because they took the challenge, they were able to do it. And that is what the white man thinks. When we went for that, they gave us some block of this and that, and some 16 layers that we should construct a building. The Ghana group were three, myself and my colleague from the Sims, and then one from Bank of Ghana, the three of us. The others were different countries. Then my friend said, but this is impossible. It's to the white man, the salary people, that's what the lecturer told us. the white man, they started like him. He said when it's impossible, you not attempt to do it. But when you say it's a there's a challenge, you be forced to overcome the challenge. So everything they see it as a challenge and they try to overcome it. That's why you see the white always trying to do new things every day. You see, they keep on doing new things because to them it's only a challenge which you must overcome. So this COVID, they will find us whatever it is, they will look for it. They are struggling, but they want to look for it. Because to them it's a challenge and they must overcome it. So the people, the white people took that as a challenge, took them and tried to organize machines and they jumped to the moon. Like I am one can tell system. We have been years listening to conspiracy stories under the moon. There's no way we will think of jumping to the moon. This is the thing. We are not creative. We are, in fact, even education, I have a question mark on our education. One lecturer will come after lecture, he will print pamphlets, sell it to you, chew everything you have, written to you, and write to my exams. Come on, it doesn't help us to think. Because the lecturer himself is the same book. That's somebody's mind. It's not a lecturer's mind. Somebody's mind use that in the book. The lecturer has learned it. He has given it to you. You give it your next. When you lecture, you give it your next student. So it's the same thing. No. When you went to a class academy, when the white man says something, you can't. If you repeat it, they will cancel it. You want to do something different. Think different. What can you do different from this? Let me say close the door. Say shut the door. Don't write close the door again. You cancel it. You understand it? They don't believe in the same thing. No, they don't believe it. Whatever is there, don't bring it. Create your own thing. That's why they're always doing something different. They didn't bother which another material you so much. No one bought was a cheeseburger or something. And you go on this, they cut the bread, put it in rubber, put the meat into rubber. So you just buy it, frank go. Within 2 minutes, you're done, you're home. Let's go fast food. You see, they are trying to create everything under the sun. They are trying to recreate something. Every day they do something different. This year you go to London, the type of things you see, the next year you go and things have changed. Somebody has invented something which is different from what is there. They are always thinking, come on, they keep on telling us we are lazy. We are not, and we don't seem to see that we are lazy. If we had the work, the time, they keep to time. We don't keep to time. When we say we are going to have a meeting, what is the time? What? 3:34. Completely undefined. You don't have a fixed time to work. Look at their matches. When they say it's 3 o'clock, have you seen your match where they say 3 o'clock and they are missed by 1 second? No. The white people, their time is time. When it's 3, clean, the referee will say the ball starts. Every match that you have seen, from childhood to date, have you seen any day they have missed a match? They haven't. When we were going to the Class Academy, we were giving our timetable in May, we went to July, which the lectures were told earlier. We had 100 lectures, different, everybody who comes is different from the one group. 100 lectures. Not a single one of them was late to lecture. Not one. Everybody comes at least 10 minutes time. So that when this one moves, this one comes in. This one. Then, and nobody said, me buy me car, you say, never, not the one excuse. So all the 100 watch, you see, they are when it comes to time, they don't joke with time. They work with time. And I'm going to learn that. At the work, I go to work every day before you go. But I tell people that the work starts at 8, not 8 before you are coming. Work starts at 8. Even when I'm from Accra here, before my eyes should fly, when the corona came, when they stop flying things, I have to use car. I live here exactly at 4 a.m. By 8 a.m. I was in the office. Every single Monday. 4 o'clock, the driver must take off and we must go. You see, I work with time. They have taught me something. Don't joke with time. And plan. Most of us, you don't even have plan for this week, next year, nothing. Look at the white. Every time they have planned something. Even next year, 2 years, 5 years, they always have plans. They plan. They just don't book about. If we have a country, we are going, and we knows where we are going. Now, you don't have fixed time. Please, they work with time, they work with plans. What plan do you have for next week? What plan do you have for next week? Before a white man travels for summer, he has planned. This year we go to Ghana, next year Ethiopia, another time South Africa. They plan, they start saving towards it. Everything is planned. Look at them, they do small books, they keep to it. About the work of time. You see the time, because the time from here to your office is and so make sure they set up on time and reach down on time. If you miss the train or miss anything, you are trouble. And when the train says 9 o'clock, 2 minutes to 9, the train is there, it opens up, you enter, 2 minutes by, take off. Whether you are the prime minister or any time, nobody wait for you. They don't, that one, they won't mind you. Once you are late, you are late. And that means you are dismissed. So it will force you to think, to run to office. Because once the day you are late, you are dismissed. It's not a question of coming back. No excuse. Don't come again. You are finished. And so they are working. You see, by the time you get to the place, the gate are locked. Why are you going to enter the? You are finished. You have set yourself. You don't go and ask anybody any question. Because before you even work, you sign contract. Recently, they're trying to bring it to Ghana. You sign contract that I will deliver this and this and this. When you don't deliver, nobody tells you. Just pack your things and go home. Don't ask anybody any questions. You see, so you are forced to think out of the ordinary. Now, when they took me to Mercy, one of the things that I did was some white, they gave us Americans, they put pressure on us. I said, yes, now Abrafo has come, so they're going to force them to do what we are supposed to do. People were complaining, no, my pressure, no, my pressure. But that's why they do it, pressure, do this. This thing, this, then I was given 125 audits in a year. 124 audits in a year. And unfortunately for me, they were transfers, and they took away 25 of my staff and bought 15. Then the 15, 3 of them came, they said the kids were so you have to take them back. Including one who had just been there. I don't know why they transferred them. Because she didn't call the phone, I call her, oh, Sue. You know, you see the woman is on the sky and said, this is my she can't stay here, she has to go. So she went. Now I had few people in audit, 5 people at that time. And I was going to audit the whole month. How was I going to work? 5 regular staff. I said, you know what, I'll do something. I called the NAPO. I have to think, I have to pitch. I called some NAPO. If she said too good to go, they take about 2-3 weeks to come up one office. No. I took 4 NAPO guys, give it to one person, 4 NAPO guys. So the 2 of you are going to do as a team. Now, you are not team now. What you do is, let's go and teach the children what to do. You are leaders. So the children are good in typing, organizing information. The account staff, the account guys are. But they understand sales, they understand pages, they understand expenses. I mean, those who know accounting. So, the people who have the information, they come and sit in the office. So this one bring 4 reports, this one bring 4. Now sit down, jump together. So before I realized they have got 8 reports, this one 1. So being a trick of an eye, I had more than what they needed. That is thinking. The man just was surprised. How were you able to do it? I said, this is what I did. Oh, nobody was thinking. Please, you can create something out of nothing. And that's the difference I made. Because I got more than I got it. Because anytime we get to multiply, being a trick of an eye, I had so many of them. Yes, and the children were fast. These children, they are smart. Don't underrate the children you see. That's why I'm telling you, you have potential. You are great. Don't underrate yourself. They say you don't have figure. Tell yourself you are great. Yes, yes, and you can make it. That's how I told you. The second thing I learned was, don't give excuses, find solutions. We learn to give excuses. And come on, what are you talking about? You can do it. Think differently. What can you do differently? One day, we were supposed to have a national program on Friday. But letter came on the Monday. And with the Monday, the letter came the Friday, before Friday morning. Because I have only 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I had to get to the valley to get to the go to the Santa to give me somebody to chair the function. By that time, he was doing 20 conversions, so he wasn't going to come himself. But at least he must be someone to chair the function. I needed the regional minister there, I needed a Kumasi mayor there, I needed MPs, 1 MPP, 1 NDC. I have to get all of them in there, in my compound to come and do the program. Immediately, I have to run around 2 weeks. So I called one big chief. Then said, oh, today I'm going to the palace, but for your sake, I'll go. I have friends among them, I have to. You know, you have to make friends wherever you go. So, I'll go and meet you there, so bring the letter. So I do the negotiation. Then, I sent one guy that, take this letter, go and give it to the man. The man will go to the palace. I was attending a function like I'm doing today. So I had to go and give a talk somewhere. I came back around 2:30. I think the guy was asking that. Where have you been? No, I didn't get a car. What? You see how you give excuses? You didn't get a car for the pool, so you sat down. Couldn't you have used your own car and come to people? Who have sent get another friend's car that you could jam now you look now come back. So that you have satisfied the why I sent you see, or even take the job in. Go and come, who will pay you? But he said that he didn't get the car from the pool because all the cars have gone out. Therefore, he said that for the money you have to have no movement. Come on, how many times don't we do this? You can think differently. There's always a solution to the problem. That's the white man mentality. Please, there's always a solution to every single problem. Don't sit down and give excuses. Don't sit down and give excuses. There's always a solution to every single problem. Look for alternative solutions and get out. oh, this one, come on, leave that, leave the person, move on. Because somebody helps you, are waiting for me. No, don't waste your time, move on. Move to the next person, move to something. I mean, when I give assignment, I can't you do that. I will put somebody else there to do it. But somebody else can do it, can do better. Yeah. There's no point I will wait for you. I won't. If I do assignment, you start feeling you are not, push you somewhere, get somebody else to do it. You see that thing? Before I like the task been done, then you feel jealous. We are finished. You see that thing? Find what solution to this. Every problem has a solution. Please. That time I'll tell you is that please keep on learning. Don't only learn your books. Read, go to the internet, learn new things. Go to magazines, newspapers, news. Take interest in everything around you. You see, please take interest in everything around you. Learn so much. Don't only learn your subject. If you are even doing physics or whatever, please take interest in law. Take interest in other things around you. Just take interest. Learn. Because you read there, realize that you need to understand what is spoken in there. Sometimes you see the nurses, I asked a few things. Today mentioned some big word. I asked, what does that mean? She told me. I won't forget again. One day, one doctor came to me, the wife came to me, the wife was a big lady. Talking, I started, we discussed something, I started talking about the ACG and the, what, something? Are you also a doctor? She said, I'll get a few things from people. Because everything they say, I can also understand, I can also say something. So I was surprised that actually this guy seemed to know so much. Politics, sport, everything. You must learn it. Just take interest in learning around you. And please, don't only think of first degree, think of the second degree as well. If you can do it, go for a master's program. If you finish service and you are not doing it, please continue. Don't wait. Go for master's, you will need it. Recently, GRA, there was a policy that they are going to take only master's degree. Some of us have to kick against it, otherwise some people will not be employed. Because some people are first degree, if somebody has HND, what does it mean? Does it mean those people don't need them? No. We need, if you need catch up, we need government to help. You see the point? So we push it. Otherwise, that was the policy. But I know one day to come that to start as a first officer, you need to have a master's degree. So please, don't end your education anywhere. Go ahead. Any help that you need, call and let them help you, push you to the top. Some of us are saying, so we are just trying to help you at this. We have done our best. Well, if I have, if I don't have, I don't have. But I'll tell them, when you're a man and you're broke, you work about your spirit is winter. Sometimes you're broke, you know that if there's money in your pocket, yes. But when I have money, I give it to you. I always do it. I don't really care. That's me. I'll give you one example. One day I was in town. We are just, normally, I make sure I clear everything on my table. That's what about it. I take decisions. You would never come to see my table files on it. No. Every time comes, I take a decision, move it. Because I say push the book. Once you push, everybody pushes. Then decisions are taken very fast. So I push it. Whenever I come, I clear everything. So when I come, those days I used to do some work in Accra, then go to the afternoon. So I sit there and work around 7 p.m. before I leave there. Clear everything on my table before I move. I want to sleep peacefully. When I come next morning, there will be more problems. So come and need problems. So we don't keep just this room to the next day. I don't do that. So I was working when the security man climbed up and came. Everybody I left. I was there when he came and said my daughter is supposed to go to a training college. He hasn't got. We have gone round everywhere and there's no money. And I think I'm really praying that if you can help me a little so that tomorrow. And then tomorrow is the closing date. How much is it? 1,006. I check my pocket, 1,006. I said, go down, come in. So I finished my work. When I came down, I took what went from my pocket and gave it. I said, that's all I have. So take it and go and solve the child's problem. So I left the man. I was going to a car. And I ran to my sister. So I turned back and he was standing there crying. I said, Mr. Sapi, why? He said, I can't believe you are giving away your pocket money. How are you going to go home? You are going to Tamale. From Tamale, you are going to Accra. How are you going to sleep? How are you going to? I said, no, I have one CD in my car. That will pay my toll. So once I get to the toll, I will go. I pray I don't go and hit anybody or get to any police problem. I have a police the rest of the or if I get into trouble or my tie goes and I'll be in trouble. But I pray I reach up. If I reach up, I can borrow from my wife. So I will go. Don't look at me. I said, yes, don't worry. Because I'm not going to buy anything tonight. I'm going to sleep and get up tomorrow and come to work. So you need the money more than me. So you go ahead. The man took the money and went home. Do you believe the man has gone retirement? Even up to today, he come recently said, my daughter was going to have wedding or something. The guy has finished the nursing school like my sister. She's now a nurse somewhere. She has been going to marry Cobra. You see, I did it just like that. I didn't care. That's me. I didn't have a person on my but I drove him. I think, and that's the 10th time I did it. It was the first time. He was surprised, but to me, I do it once a while. I came from the bank, and I had to tell 500. I'm not here. Some of you tell very exactly to go to register her exams. Otherwise, but we were going to expect some check from the office, and 2 people were supposed to sign. One have signed, the other one didn't come. So it means, and that if they didn't register for the exam, she won't. And that person, the husband is here, so I won't let the person know. And the husband is in this church. Today is not here, but it's so he mentioned, I said, I took the teacher. That means that day I can't even buy water. It was in the morning around 10. So it means the whole day I've been in the office, one person in my pocket. That I can't even buy water. So I went to sit myself and write my report so I don't touch anybody's name. I was there when a friend called, an MP called, and he said, "Somebody, are you in the office?" I said, "I'm in the office. I'm coming there." So, do you remember some South Africans did some work for them? I met some, I think in the shopping mall, some shopping company was coming to some company, and they wanted to know tax issues. So I drafted something for them, so they will know all the taxes they have to confirm when they come to invest in Ghana. There's a booklet or something. So when the people have come, they said, "Give me $5,000. Wow, just like that. After I've dashed my money, see, God gave me $5,000. And the man said, "Charlie, can you eat?" I said, "No." I said, "Let's go to that Chinese restaurant is called Riga. You took me that day to ice cream." So you see what God did? Just like that. Yes, I dashed mine and God gave me his phone. You see that thing? So please, me, the little that I can do, I told you that before. So once again, please steady and steady and steady. Those who want to enter business, advise the house people. Or even when money comes to your house, the first you think of, I'm going to buy this bag, matching dress, red color, blue color, bag, the accessories. People always think of that. Please, I keep on saying that, invest the money. Every money you consume, you don't meet again. Once you spend it, it's gone. But once you invest it, you meet it again. You understand me? Once you get any money, invest it. Take the profit and chop. Don't chop the money itself. Every money that you come across in life, try and invest it. I hope you get me. Once you invest it, you meet it again. But if you chop it, you won't meet it again. Let me give you an example. For example, assuming that I'm paying 30,000 a month.
Chairman, just a second. Take note of this. Every money you get, do what? Invest the money. What should you chop? Oh, your what? Your profit.
Because
don't.
Yes. If you chop it, you will never make the money again. It's gone. It's expenditure. But once you invest it, you meet it again. Now, assuming I'm paying 30,000 a month. Let's assume I'm paying 30,000 a month. If I want to chop it a month, how much do I spend a day? 1,000 cities. Is that not it? So every day, 30 days, it's gone. Then I have to wait for the next pay packet. Is that not it? Another one, I'm sure I spend 30,000. The end of the month is gone. Now, the same 30,000, I can go and buy 100 bars of sugar. 300 cities a bag. In the market. 300 cities a bag. 100 bags for the 30,000. Now, with the 300 bags, I can sell it for 310 cities and make a profit of 10 cities per bag. Multiply by 100, what do I get? The same 1,000. Have you seen it? But the 10,000 is still there. I've only chopped out the profit. You see, I will still get 10 times 100, 1,000 cities. Chop the 1,000 cities, keep the 30, and next they go back. 100 bags of sugar in Makola or Kashi or CMB is nothing. In fact, you'll be surprised that Ghana will chop more sugar than rice. Our cocoa, our whole fruit, pastries, rice water, Fanta, Coca-Cola, everything sugar. There's so much sugar that we chop, you have no idea of. We chop more sugar than rice. In our bread and everywhere, sugar. So sugar is nothing. Did you sold 100 bags of sugar in Makola or anywhere will be sold just like that. It will go. One person will buy it. One baker will buy it. Is that thing? So you easily make that profit. Now, so at the end of the month, I sell my 30,000 in tax. Then the next month one, I add it to it. What does that become? 60,000. At least I don't buy 100. I buy what? 200 bags. So continuously by the end of the year, you have a big capital. People will see, oh, well, this schedule, where Otoboke, Charlie, it's not true, it's thinking. Please think, create. Think, create. Go into speculative business. That's That's why I keep on going to the internet, study geography, study everything around you. For example, sugar. Sugar, the country that produce sugar most is Brazil. And those that consume most is India. India will put the less sugar. I'm quite with them sugar. Oh, yeah, friends. That spring or something, sugar. Everything. They give you biscuits, you push sugar on it. Everything sugar. So, whenever any of those variables have a problem, the sugar price will go up. You understand? If the Brazil soil or weather has a problem, it means sugar will go down, price will go up. If this one, they don't consume much, you see. So you must know these things. When they realized that there was a problem in Canada, and all our wheat come from Canada, the bread that we eat, come from mainly Canada, some parts of America, but mainly Canada, the prairies region of Canada. So whenever the weather is affected there, it means flour price go to shoot up. So one day I said, no, I've studied something. I know at that time was that the sugar, this is going to move up. So let's store a lot of flour. So I called the flour company that they should give me. So no, we'll give you a maximum of 2,400. That's the maximum for 1 month. They did some calculation, and then 1 month. I said, now you bring it. Within 1 month, I'll pay for it. And when the thing came, within a week or so, wheat has short in Ghana, and the price was short by 50 cedis. 50 cedis a bag. Now, whilst the original price was 140, or so 144, the price moved to 200. Because now we sell it at, we will now sell it at the cost at 190. It is from 140 to 190. So the new price was what? The cost price was 190, and people were selling at 200. I said, you know what? I'll sell mine at 190. I just want the 50 cedis. I don't want the profit at the cost. Because it will sell fast, and you have to pay the owners very quick. Because within a month, you have to pay them. And worst of all, flour after 1 month start developing weevils. It's not something you can keep. You don't have to rice and keep, but you can't keep flour. 50 cedis times 2,400 is what? 120,000. That's a windfall. That's how much it must be. Because everybody was, you see, if you do everything normal, you won't get the same thing. Think out of the box. Think differently for everybody. That's the only way you can be successful. You always outpace your competitors. You always outpace your colleagues. Smartness. Think fast. We are in Bawe. 4 a.m. every day. 4 a.m. we leave the place because if it's 6 o'clock, traffic will get into trouble. Those who stay at Faro, maybe I'm not country, you don't see it. Those who stay at Spinters, this is a.m. don't attempt to come to town. The traffic you meet will run away. Those from Achaliwoche, Kaswa, and others coming to Accra to work. 4 a.m. you are out. Sometimes we sleep around 11, but 4 a.m. we are off. We're killing ourselves. But what we're creating, we were sleeping, snoring, but we were working. Because most people sell between 5 a.m. Those who come from out road, Takwa, Mankesin, far off. Those who come there, they come at dawn so they can go early. So by 10 o'clock, you have sold 70% of your sales. So if you are lazy and you go to work, you sleep out and go to work at night and you're lazy, that's all. Not because you're tired. You are not smart. But you have to kill yourself to achieve it. Similar in school. Those who study in the night, you take their time. When everybody is sleeping, you study, they make it. They are always ahead of time. They will pass the exams and leave you behind. Your classmates, we know you know the top position. Now, when we know, you understand me? You want money and where's you? Please, hard work doesn't kill. The wise say why hard work doesn't break bones. Please do it. Put in your best. See, back to the impossible thing. When the man said, we said impossible, the man said there's nothing like impossible. Do it. We're standing by it. We put the nails, put one on top into the foam. We try to do the other one before the thing has locked. Then gradually slowly put on top of it. They'll start hanging one. Before life, you have put up a house for a roofing. We couldn't believe ourselves. The man said, yes, you are not thinking. Common nails and this will put up a building. How we will go through it? But the man forced us to think, and we were able to put up the building. Then he said, now, good. Let's go for coffee break and come. Now start removing one by one. When he said remove, but you have to make sure it's balanced so that it doesn't fall down. That's the sense where I was using. Gradually. Yeah. So the time we finished the whole thing collapsed. He said ours was the second after the Malaysia. Since he started teaching, nobody has gone to that length of time of about 6 hours with their hand. This is standing there. But because you start in the morning and the thing the morning around 3:30 or something. So it was about a period of about 6 hours. And that was the second highest after Malaysians. The Ghana one, the three of us, what we did was the second after Malaysians. The Koreans tried and there's the warfare. That is what so the man taught us something. And since that time, I've seen that it's not like impossible. Once you see it as a challenge, you overcome it. So please don't fear. And now, faces the idea, mass the idea, this the idea. Please, it is only a challenge. If you put your shoulder to you, ask those who know, let them teach you. You overcome it. It's only a challenge. You make it. Okay? So don't sit down and collapse out of everything. And there's something, integrity and faithfulness. That's something you can never beat. Integrity and faithfulness is something you can never beat. And when we started our business, for a while there, you know what? People believe in bounce checks and funny things. And let's live with integrity. Let's make sure whatever you promise somebody, we obey it and to help us. Because all the if you go to catch bounce checks, plenty. Or catch us in the Bejuba, no, people are playing lots of tricks. One bank came to that one Ajah bank, UBA or something. It came in Standard Bank. It became the UBA. It collapsed because a lot of people took loans and didn't pay. People like doing that. They will take it. They say, I'm not the Bobby and editor. You see, they will borrow and dodge and give excuses and they won't pay. Now, because we stuck to the principle of faithfulness and integrity. We were there, we were in a small shop. When one woman came, he said, you heard about us. He said, my accountant. So I want to, I import a lot. I want you to take it from me. And then give it to all the people on this lane. So that at the end, every week, you give me so much. He said, we'll do it. So man will bring a whole articulator load. That time, we were dealing small articulator load. We pick it and we share it among everybody. Then I'll go on them and pick the monies. By Friday, the post money were inside the bank. So they started bringing more. You see, then we started going up. Then they started, some of the other importers started getting to know us. They started coming one by one. Other importers started coming one by one. Then we had this Israeli company. We tried to do a small post store. An Israeli company came along and he promised the man, it was $24,000. He said, we'll pay within this period. We actually pay before the time. So the man said, wow, Samuel, I can trust you for. I can trust you for. One day, one of the drivers was sent to Tema. He went to a particular type of chicken. It was short, it was some broiler type. And he pounced upon one at one company, it was a Lebanese company. And then he went there and said, hey, madam needs some, but we don't have money. And he called, the madam said, let me talk to the person. The man said, do you know any other, can you mention one or two Lebanese people in Accra? Then she mentioned 3 of them. The man called one. The man, you know what the man said? As for this people, I can guarantee them 200%. The man said, take the goods. That's the difference between telling the truth and lying. Once people trust you, they'll come and dump the thing, even if you don't like it, sell it for me. Because they can trust you, they get the money. And I have a chart for checks. I have a chart. I make sure whatever I've done that check. That very day, the money must pick the account for you to clear. So, in fact, Takwade Flano gave us a play. A gold, their symbol is an elephant, a stool. Elephant stool or something. Stool with an elephant under. They gave us a golden one because they told us that we're the first company here who has traded with them for 10 years without one check bouncing. And that is what integrity can do. So this company, I just gave a call. They will bring everything because they know your check is cash. So you see the point. That's something that you must enter. You ask that their leading customer was one. I mentioned in Okashi. He asked how many times the checks are bound 50 times in the year. So average of 1 berry. The man was saying average of 1 berry. No, I don't do that. When you give them the money, they'll go and buy something else and sell. And then they'll play, check in some representative. So a check that should take 3 days will take 1. You see, the intention delay you to make sure it doesn't. So when you make sure you pay on time. So please, not only in trading, wherever you find yourself, just be faithful. And faithfulness will catch up with you. It will make a difference. Some of us were recommended to go for courses because of faithfulness, not because we knew better than others. When people can trust you, and they know what you say is what you are saying. When something can be, point to I say when you move or something, sometimes call you something. You see, sometimes in the office, because of the way I'm not behaving, they call you something. Even though you haven't gone to any Bible school. You see that? Or software can't be great. You see that? Sometimes that leads you wherever you find yourself. So please, faithfulness, integrity, make sure that works in your life. and to take you far. Don't always try to fast. We like Kokwanansi's style of life, Kokwanansi's stories. You know, Kokwanansi is probably because he's smart. He's always are smart people, always are busy. Please, once you, if you go when you understand that you are Kokwanansi stories, so we always try to be smarter. Who is told you? Who just over no one told you? Please. Who can say in us a lie? Car, who will be from nowhere? You are going to go. We are officer. We are smarter. No, it's Kokwanansi mentality. In the way. At the end, we all go and beat and maybe nobody moves. Now, in our Colombia, we have fooled ourselves. You sit in the plane, the plane lands. Someone from the back, push, go forward. And at the end, you go and see the same bus and wait for you to come so you all get the same bus. Outside, first come, first serve. They will never overtake each other. Even when somebody comes and you are taking a thing for lunch, you help you to pull it out, or you wait for you to pull it out and go. Because you are number 7, he's number 8, he won't overtake you. But here, no future can be pushed out. Open the phone, come baby out. The pentap don't go baby out. You see, we are funny, we rush. One day in Amsterdam, normally it's only one plane, KLM brings only one plane down. So everybody comes to it. Some come at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that by 1 o'clock the plane takes off. 1 o'clock there is about 3 or something. So 5 hours, we reach here around 8. Every country, there when they mention Austria, they put you nicely, go. The roofs are there. Oh, look there, don't got, what's it mentioned? Look, they mention some, oh, then they all the book you nicely. Mention one country, Austria, Geneva, they mention the towns, we see them mentioning. They may mention Ghana, hey, come on. People's things falling down, their children falling from their back. The whole thing was messed up. Oh, I was so ashamed. Why are we saying the rush? Rush where? Everybody has put a ticket. There's a ticket. Your seat has a ticket number. What is it? Well, before I realized the ropes, everything was falling down. You have pushed everything away. Hey, stop. That is how I felt ashamed. All those economy from this to this, wait, come first, and went to pack them. Those in the middle come, why do you always have to repeat it? You have to change your mind from now. If you have to change your mindset, why are you rushing to? Think! You see, it must be organized. I will change traffic lights, car, but God first come first, nobody will take the other. They'll follow the same line. So the traffic light going off won't make any difference. I remember I saw something in America, across the road like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? First come first mentality. So whenever you reach there, whenever you know the person you reach there, when you reach there, you realize that this man was there before me. So he has to go before me. So the first person will go, this one will go, this one will go, then you go. And there will be no crash in the middle. I was so impressed. Because they have that first come mentality. Here, you are the first, you overtake you because you are smarter than you. It's not true. We always end up outsmarting ourselves for Kokwanansi mentality. It doesn't help us. So please, let's learn all these things and make a change for ourselves. And so please, innovate, create, think, plan. But therefore, don't forget your Bible, to read your Bible every morning or whenever you have time. And also don't forget to pray. Anytime there's space in between your times, please pray. Because sometimes you are in a rush, you rush out to rise that you haven't even read the Bible, you have the answer. Please, you have to read the Bible every day. Whenever you have any of that space, pray. At any point in time, pray. You need it. You need it for your own protection, for your own direction, for your own instruction, for your own creativity. You see, the Bible, the devil knows that the more you read the Bible, the more you become dense. You see, that's your protection. So they won't allow you to read. When they give you WhatsApp, you read it quickly, you won't even think. When you give Bible, you feel lazy like reading it. Please read the Bible. That's what makes you dense. Do you remember that when Jesus made the devil, they all quoted the Bible? The devil knows the Bible, don't underrate it. And Jesus used the Bible to conquer him. You see, you got quotations to conquer him. When they say he should jump, he didn't jump. You have broken his legs. He's an idiot. He used the Bible to counteract it. That's why he didn't jump down to fall down for the devil to take over. But the moment you kneel down for the devil, it means what? I'll give you the word. Yes, you give the word, but you suffer. Some people they think they are enjoying, they are not. Slave girls, slave queen, all of which they are just being food. You die fish and put your devil. You need it. No, you don't. Yes. Please. You need to study your Bible. Quiet time, anytime you have time. Please read something. Even if a chapter, a verse or a chapter or something in the Bible a day, it makes a difference. You are building up. You see, but before you realize you have gone to the Bible, sometimes gone to the Bible 3-4 times, sometimes. Just go to it. And it makes you dense. So attacks don't work on you easily. Because you are dense. You understand? Once the Bible is soak the Bible into you, you become dense. The devil knows that. You make sure you don't read the Bible. You are lazy, you like conversing, you like doing other funny things, watching telenovela. So I'll be practical, all sorts of things. Now which one is it? You see, you get more interest in that than read the Bible. You see that? And you don't have time to pray. Some of us, you pray morning, you pray after, you pray evening, and even night. We sometimes 12 midnight, 2 a.m. I get up and pray. Sometimes you are nudged. Some you want to get up on Friday, start praying. Pray for it, because the time that people are chanting. That time people are chanting against you. But once you start praying, they see you in a pool of blood and they can't touch you. Please, don't joke your prayers. And that is the only way you successful. Now to end, let me paraphrase this from Martin Luther King. So this is a journey we are embarking on. Those of you who can fly, please fly. If you can't fly, please drive. If you can't drive, please run. If you can't run, please walk. If you can't walk, please crawl. Use every form of mobility to help us to reach the land destination. God will bless you. Thank you very much.